Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Chasing Thoughts with Chase. Now, before I get started, let me acknowledge this very simple fact that is impossible to ignore. It has been 7 months since I've done this. As you can see, I am in a completely different room than the last time I recorded. Last time I recorded this, I was in the other end of the house, quite literally, and now I'm here in my own room. And believe it or not, contrary to popular belief, no, I did not record in my own room before. That was the office where I had to share it with my family. But now here I can just kind of record whenever. That's nice. But yeah, there's been a lot of other stuff that's also been changing since I last did an episode. Primarily work situation, which right now my work situation, I'll get into that later. And I've started a couple new projects, which I shouldn't because I have like 5 other projects I need to finish. Well, it's not really like 5 others, but there's like 2 or 3 other really big projects I need to finish. So yeah, this is not going to be the normal episode in case you obviously haven't noticed, because I'm just going to kind of give you a bit of a checkup on how my life's been and how I'm going to approach Chase the Thoughts with Chase going forward. Because I really do want to make this work. I do want to make this channel and all the other channels I've been doing work, but I haven't been putting in nearly enough time and effort towards that. Heck, I haven't even put in enough time and effort towards a lot of the other stuff I've been doing. Most of my time has been poured into my work as a lifeguard. And while I love the job, I will say I have not left myself a lot of room for improving any other aspect of my life. I've mostly felt like I haven't really been like improving so much as I've been maintaining. Do you understand what I mean by that? You're not spiraling or anything, but you start to get this really nagging, annoying feeling of stagnation. There's so much you want to do. There's so much you could be getting done, but you're not realizing it. You're just kind of doing the bare minimum. That's how I've been these past few months. So yeah, but the situation with my work right now is, long story short, for those of you who do not know, my the pool that I work at is closed for 2 months for repairs. Well, it's not technically 2 months. The time period is anywhere between 6 to 10 weeks. But realistically, it's going to take at least 8. So, 2 months. And I've been preparing for this moment for a long time. Like, ever since, like, December, I've been mentally preparing myself. I've been thinking, there's so much I want to do once I'm done with work, once I don't have that. But I've also been inevitably preparing for the other part, which is the more realistic part of how am I going to budget my money now that I don't have my main work income. And for those of you wondering, do I have a plan in my head for any of the stuff I'm saying right now? The answer to that is no, I have no plan. I am just speaking off the top of my head, literally whatever comes to mind first. This was literally just me saying, I'm going to force myself to sit down and record this, because otherwise I never will. And if it's a little bit I'm honestly fine with that. I just need to let you guys know that I am still interested in keeping the Chase and Thoughts with Chase channel alive. Also, sorry if my voice sounds a little sore or gravelly. I've kind of got something in my throat, but I'm doing okay otherwise. So first off, I'm literally just speaking off of whatever comes to my mind first. And what came to mind is, hey, I should share with you guys some of the plans I have for the future. So I'm actually going to pull up the Google Doc. Because I'm pretty sure I have a Google Doc somewhere around here, which has the next, I think, 4 or 5 solo episodes I have planned. This is the current plan of everything I have. So, podcast topic list. Okay, this is the right one. Okay, so the first one, so these are not all like solidified in any particular order. This is the Harry Potter and the Cursed Child summary. I believe this was the new Harry Potter book that got released. The newest one, I guess. I don't remember how long it's been since that book was released. I was planning on reading that book and doing a summary of it. I kid you not, F-Zero GX Anime episode 1 through 15 summary. So for those of you who do not know, there is an anime of the famous game F-Zero called F-Zero GX. I think it was released in like 1999, maybe 2001. I can't remember. I'm just gonna look up the info right now. F-Zero. Again, I am literally just freeballing this one. GX anime. Okay, when was it released? When was it? Um, Release date. There we go. Okay, there we go. 2003. So it's all the way back in 2003. So that anime is older than I am. Oh my goodness. Then the one I'm the most excited to do, which is How Does Soap Really Work? This was kind of a foundational core quote unquote joke question that I based the core thesis of this channel upon, of what I wanted to explore with it. Obviously, I'm not doing that this episode. I'm just freeballing it. I have no plan, no script. I'm just sitting down here. I don't know how many times I've mentioned that, and I will probably mention it several times more. A live action Disney movie tier list. I don't know why I put this down. I'm probably not going to do this, but just know that on the podcast episode list, this is something that is on there. And finally, the final one I'm going to reveal. There's one other, but I'm not going to reveal it because it requires cooperation from a certain party that I need to acquire first. And the final one is art techniques foreshadowing. For those of you who do not know, I happen to be a fair bit passionate in art. I have I have like a digital drawing tablet, and I've actually made a couple of drawings before. So I was planning on like going into foreshadowing, like learning some techniques to help people better understand it, and then sharing it on the podcast while I commentate. Like, I don't know. I'll probably do like that episode will probably be different than most of my other ones because it won't be the typical, hey, I have the face cam on. It will probably be me like commentating over a series of. But now we. Anyway, I should probably start looking at that. I need to start looking at the camera more often. I keep forgetting to do that on the podcast, honestly. One of the most difficult things about doing this kind of stuff for me is talking like a normal person. I stutter a lot, especially during recordings, because for me it feels so inorganic to do so. Like, I can speak to normal people really easily, but when that translates to staring at the camera, it usually goes one or two ways. One, my eyes start randomly. Usually, I just stare at the computer screen like this. Or two, I just stare unnaturally, staring into the thing with my soul, with my empty blank soul. What am I doing? I don't know. But yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I still feel like it feels really weird because I've been waiting for so long, so long, so long. I'm like, finally, it's gonna come. Finally, I'm gonna be free from the responsibility of work. I know I just jumped from one thing to another. This is normal when I don't have a plan. And then the day comes, and that wait is finally released, and I don't know what to do. It's it just feels weird. It doesn't feel the way I expected it to. Obviously, it feels very liberating, but also feels a little bit empty at the same time because I'm not used to having to pour in the time myself. Usually, it's I do this because it needs to be done, not because someone else requires it of me, and not because I require it of myself. And really, that's where my main problem strikes from. I'm not And maybe this is indicating of a bigger problem that I might be admitting to, and if I am doing this, feel free to call me out on it in the comments if you want to. Don't if you don't want to, but I struggle to do things for myself. I don't know why. It just feels like a hollow reason for me to do things. The reason I do my job, it's not necessarily for myself. It's because other people rely on the service that I provide. But if I'm being honest here, I'm not a lifeguard for me, for the money, for me. I'm doing it because other people need it. And again, I am very grateful for that job. I do not want to give my employer, who might stumble upon this video, the wrong impression. I am very grateful for that job. It's just that I don't do it for myself. And that my motivations are not per se personal, and if they were, I would be seeking out a different job. I'm just gonna be honest. But I don't want this to turn into just like a oh, woe is me vent, but I just felt the need to get that out of the way. But chasing thoughts with Chase, what's the plan going forward? This is the thing I really, really need to talk about, so let's get that out of the way. So, the plan I have for Chasing Thoughts with Chase is to release an episode every 2 to 3 weeks. I might say it's every 3 weeks because that's, in all honesty, more sustainable for everything else I've got going on, especially if I got to plan like guest episodes and all that. I recently released an Instagram story with my business email, which the way I got my business email, it's literally not a, it doesn't have like, it's like Eswin plays stop business at gmail.com. It's not like a fancy business email. It's literally a spare email I have from one of my separate channels that I saw I have absolutely nothing going on in it. And I thought, yeah, I'm sure that's fine. I'm sure this will make a good email. Maybe I'll regret that. I don't know. But for now, that is my plan. Maybe I might make a separately, fully dedicated business email later on. But for now, this will work because there's literally nothing going on in that email. So I'm instantly able to recognize, I don't have like junk email cluttering it up like I do in literally every other email I have. It's just sitting there. So why not use it as my business email rather than going through all the effort to create a whole new business email? I'm sure there's like a specific way you can set it up, Google, to have Google set it up so that it is a business email. I don't know. But for the time being, I'm just going to use that and I'm hoping that'll work. I don't know if there's laws surrounding business emails or anything. I'll probably have to look into that right after I'm done with this. And now I just went on a 2-minute tangent about a business email. For those of you who want to know the business email, it's deluxeaswin@gmail.com. If you want to contact me about collaborations, sponsors, if you're out there for any of my channels, if you want to contact me about sponsorships, contact that email. I have nothing else going on in it, so I check it every day, so I should be able to see your email relatively quickly. Anyway, with that little plug out of the way, I don't know where to go with this next, so Editor B will cut to when I finally figure out the next topic to talk about. Oh, yeah, my room. You might have noticed that my room is, to put it politely, not in the cleanest state, especially my bed. Little fun fact about me, I don't really make my bed. And the main reason is not because I am a lazy person. It is actually because I move around a lot in my sleep. So literally, I can have it nice and perfectly organized, and I will unravel the entire thing within the course of one night. I kid you not. And I will just bunch all the blankets up together because that's what I do. I do this when I'm at hotels as well, so I'm sure I'm a lot of fun for the cleaning crew. I'm sure there would be a lot of fun to have them go over and see like, oh, this customer has completely unraveled the nice, lovely bed that we spent 5 minutes putting together. Why? And to that, I have to say, I am so sorry. I move around a lot in my sleep. It's just the way I do it. I sleep. I don't know why that's the first thing that brought up. Maybe it's because reasons. I don't know why I had such a long pause there. This is the kind of mentality I have when I'm recording. Like, most of the time, I'm somewhat coherent, believe it or not. But sometimes I just have these moments where I stutter, I pause for unnaturally long periods of time. Now, most of the time, I edit this out so it seems mostly and relatively fluid, because who wants to sit there seeing me just think, okay, what's the next thing I gotta discuss when I have no plan for over a minute straight? I literally did that earlier in this recording. You haven't seen it because I cut it all out, but it's there. Trust me. And now we're coming out of another cut. See, this is the thing I do about podcast episodes. Most of the podcast episodes aren't nearly as chaotic as this because I have some kind of notes I can go off of. I have a general idea of how I want to go about talking the podcast episode. Or I have someone else, or if it's a guest episode, I'll have someone else there so it feels more natural, so I can keep the conversation up a little bit better. But here, it's just, I go on random tangents for like 2 minutes, and then I'll pause for like anywhere between 10 seconds to a minute and a half, figuring out the next tangent, and then I will move on to that tangent. But while I'm here, I'm going to talk about a new project I've been working on, and I'm actually super excited to get started on it. So, for some context here, I went to FanX 2025 back in September. Great time. I wish I made a podcast episode on it, because holy cow, that Comic-Con was amazing. Met some very amazing people, got to take lots of photos, bought some amazing artwork. It was just a really fun event. Now, I made a community poll back in December, I think like back in late October, of who I should cosplay as for FanX 2026. Whew, my goodness. And this character, Silent Salt Cookie, won the poll. And if you guys want to see like a general idea of what Silent Salt Cookie looks like, I will actually show you. So I bought this figurine like a month or so ago. So here he is. Here's my little Silent Salt Cookie figurine. Say hello, Silent Salt. Hello, I'm Silent Salt Cookie. What am I doing? I actually need to resort the figurines. I have the figurines put in a very certain way. I need to resort them. There we go. But I wanted to do more than just make the costume and call it a day. I wanted to make a sort of story that accompanied it, and so I made a teaser for something I called The Trials of Silence and Solidarity, a short film. You can probably cut out the short film part, but that's the name of the project. And if you guys are wondering how I'm doing on that project, not the best, because I have procrastination issues with pretty much 99% of the stuff in my life. But I have gotten all the materials I need, including blades for a box cutter knife, so I can actually start cutting into the EVA foam and start making the props. The prop I need to start recording. I literally only have one thing I need to make before I start recording. And then I need to wait for good weather conditions, so I'm probably going to be doing the recording on Wednesday. This is Monday the 2nd. So on Wednesday the 4th, I will probably go out and do the recording session. Assuming that the area I'm in, no one else walks in on the area I'm in. But yeah. Maybe I should like cut out the thing today. That's probably a good idea, but I'll do that after I'm done recording, obviously. Oh my goodness. Blah, 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 blah. I don't know what to say. Blah. My foot fell asleep. I'm not joking about that, by the way. I'm completely serious. I'm sitting here crisscross applesauce, and then I just start feeling my foot go numb. Why is my foot falling asleep? I'm only 21. I should not be having these old person things. Yeah, I turned 22 in 15 days. So my birthday's coming up. Woo! That's really fun. And I do this tradition. And speaking of my birthday, I should probably talk about this. This is for my main channel, by the way. For those of you who don't know, and you just come across this on your YouTube recommended, Chase and Thoughts with Chase is not my main gig. My main channel is As When Plays Everything, and on my Twitch channel, every year I do something called a birthday streamathon, which is just a way of celebrating my birthday. So the first year I did it, I did streamed, I think 5 days a week for a month to celebrate that. That was amazing, but it was also extremely exhausting, and I also did not have the job I have now on it when I did that. The second year, I opted to do an 8-hour stream instead of just doing a bunch of smaller streams. I just did one really big stream, and after like 8 hours, I had a ton of friends come in, and it was really fun. And for this year, I haven't totally figured it out yet. The plan is to have it figured out by the end of the week. By the end of the week, I'll know what I'm doing for that. So yeah, this is just a yapping session. I'm sorry if I didn't really convey anything productive on this one. This is just the I'm not dead episode. This channel ain't dead yet episode. But don't worry, I actually do have a lot of well thought out ideas of like science stuff I'm gonna go into. But yeah. Anyway, I can't say I really have anything else productive to say. Not that I'm going to honestly say that any part of this episode was quote unquote productive. It was never meant to be a productive episode. It was meant to be a this channel isn't dead yet kind of episode, and I feel like in that sense, I feel like I've technically accomplished a mission. Though, in all honesty, if I really wanted to say this channel ain't dead yet, I probably could have just done that and posted a 5-second thing. But why simplify anything? Why not add 8 extra steps to everything to make it overly complicated? That's the way I go about doing stuff. Maybe that's not a good way of going about doing stuff, but that's how my mind processes stuff like this. And for me, in order to make the I'm not dead video, I need to make like a 25 to 30 minute episode on it and let you guys know, hey, I'm not dead. I've got projects I'm planning in the future, and I'm going to actually start working on those projects since I have the free time to do so. I probably could have summed it up, every important thing up in like 2 to 5 minutes, but instead I went on a yapping session and I went on like 5 different side tangents. This is the way I get when I don't record an episode without a plan. But I'm going to tell you guys, I'm going to record more episodes in the future. Those episodes will actually have plans and structures to them, and they will be a lot better than this. So if you're interested in seeing those episodes, like and subscribe and ring the bell. Yeah, I'm sorry. I algorithm stuff. But anyway, I really don't have anything else to talk about. So I'll just end this by saying, have a wonderful day, everyone. I'm going to probably start by recording something else. Since I already have OBS up, I'll probably just transition from this recording to recording something else, another video I'm working on. And then I'll start editing videos in a little bit here. All right. Love you all. Catch you later.